Hello students, welcome to CMI's online classes, and this video is for class 7 chapter number 13, time and motion. And in this chapter we will talk about motion and time. Okay, so especially motion we have already discussed previous in our chapter, and in this topic we will talk mostly about time. So let's start. Okay, first of all, what do you mean by speed? Okay, so we have a definition here. The movement of an object in a unit time is called its speed. That means the movement of object, that means motion, with respect to time is called its speed. As for example, if a car is running, car is an object. So if it is running, if it is in motion in certain time, that means you can say half an hour. Okay, that means 30 minutes. So in 30 minutes the speed of an car is regarded as its speed. So how we calculate speed? So speed is the distance covered divided by the time taken. That means we have a formula: speed equals to distance covered by time taken. Okay, now let's have an calculation in measuring speed. So here, if we take, as we know, the speed of an object can be measured if we know the distance covered by the object and the time taken. That means if speed is there and distance is there, we can find out time, and if time is there, time and distance is given, we can find out speed. Okay, so let's have an example here. If a car covers a distance of 100 kilometers in 2 hours, then the speed of the car is, okay, here we have distance traveled, that means 100 kilometer, and we have time, that means 2 hours. Okay, so we can find speed. So as we know, speed equals to distance by time. So 100 divided by 2, we get 50. That means we take unit kilometer and hour also. So we will get an answer 50 kilometer per hour. That means the speed of the car is 50 kilometer per hour. Okay, so if we know the speed of the car and time, we can find a distance also. As for example, distance equals to speed into time if we cross multiply the formula. Okay, so speed equals to 50 kilometer, as we know, it has been already taken out, into 2, that means 2 hours. So distance is 100 kilometer. In the same way, we can find time also by formula distance by speed. That means 100 divided by 50 is equals to 2 hours. Okay, so this is how speed is measured using the formula. Then let's move towards different types of motion. Okay, so we have two types of motion of a moving object. Okay, non-uniform motion and uniform motion. In non-uniform motion, if the speed of an moving object along a straight line keeps changing its position, is said to be non-uniform motion. As for example, if a car is moving and its speed is, you can say, 40 kilometer per hour, and after 10 minutes the same car speed is 50 kilometers per hour, and after again 10 minutes its speed is again 55 kilometer per hour. So the motion, the speed keeps on changing with respect to time, and that type of motion is called non-uniform motion. Similarly, we have uniform motion. So an object moving along a straight line keeps changing its position is said to be in uniform motion. In this case, the actual speed is the same as the actual speed. Average speed is the same as the actual speed. So in uniform motion, we can say that a car has a same speed throughout its movement. Okay. Now let's move towards how time is measured. Okay. So our ancestors, how they used to measure time. So for measuring time, our ancestors used sundials, water clocks and sand clocks. Okay. So in sundials, the shadow of a object is taken into consideration. Okay, wherever that shadow moves, people used to measure time, or they came to know about the duration of time. That means it can be morning or noon or in evening. Okay, similarly they use water clocks also and sand clocks also. That means some amount of water or sand they kept in a vessel, and those sand, when it is emptied, they can measure time. Okay. Now let's move towards how we measure time today. That means in modern period. So we have watches and clocks. Okay, to measure time. We have digital clocks and watches also. Okay, so the watches used today make use of periodic motion, as we all know, because it moves in a certain period. That means 12 hour. Okay, so one of the most well known periodic motion is that of a simple pendulum, and by this movement only modern times are made, or modern measuring device are made. Okay, so we will have a look at simple pendulum in our next discussion. So what do you mean by simple pendulum? Okay, so simple pendulum consists of a small metallic ball called bob suspended from a rigid stand by a thread. That means in our next slide we will discuss the topic. So when the bob of a pendulum is released, after taking it slightly to one side, it begins to move to and fro. And the to and fro motion of a simple pendulum is an example of an oscillatory or a periodic motion. That means those string or the thread, it oscillates, and those motion are periodic. Okay, so let's have a quick view of pendulum. Okay, so here we have a simple pendulum, and as we discussed earlier that a rigid stand, in a rigid stand a bob is placed. Okay, and when this is slightly moved towards point A and it is released, it will come back to point B, then C, and back to B and A again. So this type of motion from A to C and C to A is called oscillation. Is called oscillation of a pendulum. Okay, and this motion is periodic. Periodic means it has a fixed time. It has a fixed time interval. So this was a simple explanation of simple pendulum. Okay, and by this phenomena only modern measuring device has been made. Now let's move to what's those phenomena which we talked earlier. That means one oscillation. The pendulum has said to have completed one oscillation when its bob moves from one extreme position A to other extreme position B and comes back to A. That means, as I said, from A to B and back again. Okay. So, time period again. What do you mean by time period of a oscillation? So, time taken by the pendulum to complete one oscillation is called its time period. That means one oscillation, to complete one oscillation, the time taken, that means if it takes 5 seconds, so 5 seconds is our time period. Okay. So, to complete one oscillation. Similarly, if it's rotate faster, it can take one oscillation can take 1 to 2 seconds. Okay. So, now let's move towards how we measure time and speed. So, the basic unit of time is second, as we all know. If it is of less distance, okay, and we symbol it as S or SE C or SC, small as small c. Okay. So, and if it is of longer duration, then second, we can measure it by meter per second, and if it is of long distance, we can measure it by kilometer per hour. Okay, because 1000 meter makes 1 kilometer and 60 seconds makes 1 hour. So, we have a device that records speed. We can see it in our vehicles also, in our scooter or in our motorcycle or in our car. Okay. So, that is called speedometer. What is speedometer? So, speedometer is a device to record speed. It records the speed directly in kilometer per hour, because those vehicles are for long distances. Okay. So, we can see kilometer per hour written on the speedometer. Similarly, we have an odometer also there. It is the device to measure the distance covered by the vehicle. That means, in the sight or below speedometer, we have an odometer. That means, to know a trip. That means, as for example, if I have to go to from Calcutta to Delhi. Okay. So, if I have to record the distance covered till Patna, so I will be knowing at what distance Patna will come. That means, what is the distance between Calcutta to Patna. So, that we can know by odometer. Okay. Let's move and see in another slide this speedometer. Look, here is the speedometer. Okay. So, it starts from 0 to 140, and in some cases we have 180 also, till 180 also, and in small scooters or scooty we have 120 also. Okay. So, it is written kilometer, here it is written kilometer per hour. Okay. So, whenever this point reaches, the person driving the car can know that at what speed he or she is traveling. Okay. So, this is the figure of speedometer. Now, let us move towards another point, that is graphs. Okay. That means graphical representation of data. So, we have many graphical representations. That means, we can represent the things in various graph forms. Okay. So, we can represent data in pictorial form by 3. Number one is bar graph, second is pie chart, and the third one is line graph. So let's have a look here. The students' favorite color. So number of students we have marked 0, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Similarly, we have colors also: red, blue, green, black, pink. So if 22 or 23 students like red color, it has been marked like this in color red. Similarly, blue 15 students, green 10 students, black 5 students, and pink 2 to 3 students. And this is the representation of bar graph. It is the representation of bar graph. So we have pie graph on the left hand side and line graph on the right hand side. Okay, so pie graph is usually used to represent the components. As for example, here the circle. In this circle, we have 78% of nitrogen has been colored in blue, and in light green we have 21% of oxygen, and in purple we have other gases. So these components or composition of air can be represented easily by pie graph. Okay, similarly line graph is also there, which help us to determine various things. As for example, in this figure we are talking about the weights in kilogram, that means 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. So these are the weights, and the age in years, that means in 2 years, in 4 years, 6 years, 8 years, 10 years, 12 years. Okay, so at the age of 2, a person weight is 10. Similarly, at the age of 4, 11, because it's slightly rising. At the age of 6, maybe it can be 16 or 17. At the age of 8, 22. Okay, if we just roughly figure it. Similarly, this can be done for speed also. As for example, if you take, instead of kilogram, if you take this as kilometers, 10 kilometers, 20 kilometers, 30 kilometers, 40 kilometers, and this as time, means 2 minutes, 4 minutes, 6 minutes, okay, or 2 hours, 4 hours, 6 hours, 8 hours, 10 hours, in the same manner. So in 2 hours a car travel at a distance of 10 kilometers. Similarly, at 4 it travels a distance of, we can change this graph according to the data we have. Okay, so this was all about graph representation. Okay, so we will end the session here only. Till then,